Happy Friday the 13th. I hope your day is going well, not any spooky 13th stuff. I think it's a good Friday still, and I love Fridays, so I don't care if it's the 13th or not. I am flying solo today because Nick decided to leave me for a trip to Europe. Can't blame him, I guess. I would have fun being out traveling too, but figured why not do this on my own just to try it out. So this week, we've got some interesting topics for you. We're talking about misconception about lead nurturing and some brand video flops. So let's dive right in. I'm going to try to keep the screen with me today and not falling behind. Okay, so the biggest misconceptions about lead nurturing. And so I see and hear this so much. So sending just a set of, whether that's 5, 10, or 15 emails after someone download a piece of content simply isn't enough. Most of you should probably know this by now. So to truly nurture leads, you need a more, call it a well-rounded, multi-channel approach that is all about building that trust and keeping your brand top of mind without, here's the key thing, being spammy or pushy about like the sales tactics. You can add sales in there, but just don't do it the entire sequence. That's just not going to work. So what should you do instead? Focus on building meaningful connections. So you want to engage with authenticity. This is the word is close to my heart because I think that's so important in everything that we do. So engage with authenticity and focus on long-term relationships, not just quick wins. There are several ways that you can do this, and you want to include a variety of messages, but also a variety of mediums. So a few ways that you can boost your lead nurture is newsletters. And this is not just your latest blog post in a quick summary. This is actually to educate your audience, share insight, offer your point of view. And this can be weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. It's better to focus on the quality than the quantity to begin with. Marketing Qualified is obviously a good example of that, where you give away content that your audience actually care about. Another medium could be podcast episodes where you can share thought leadership, or you can even bring in industry experts and have like an interview or ask me anything session kind of style. You can say, so if you send emails, you can also highlight some new features and product integration, anything that is, again, from the customer's point of view, the audience, like what pain points are you solving? You also want to add in some social media content. This is all to stay relevant and relatable. Think in-person events, retargeting ads, educational articles to add more thought leadership. Point is, relying only on a set of emails, like an email sequence, a post sequence from a content download, simply won't cut it. You want to, if you really want to truly nurture leads today, you need to think bigger, and you want to engage across multiple channels, and you need to add value every single time. I personally think that the easiest way to do this now is like adding that newsletter into your tactic. Most of us are already doing on social, so you start sprinkling in those other channels as well. Okay, moving on to some brand video flops. So a recent study from David, Diavid, I think that's how you pronounce it, found that 84% of brand videos on TikTok fail to grab attention. That's a high number. And even worse is that some of these videos, like 24%, even spark negative emotions, which is potentially harming the brand. So while we see a lot of videos being published out there, many of those obviously fail according to this study. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing video. We really believe that video is still a good tactic, but you want to ensure that your videos kind of similar like we talked about the emails, focus on the value, not just selling. They should educate, they should entertain or inspire your audience. And always make sure that they should solve a problem, tell a story that people can relate to. People remember stories. You like always in your marketing, you want to focus on stories. Create emotional connections, trigger positive emotions like trust, hope, humor, because these emotions will also drive engagement and brand loyalty. And again, I also think it's so important to be authentic. Like show the human side of your brand, because people do business with people and not with brand. And content that's more relatable and genuine, we see that resonates way more with your audience than just these like overly polished and again salesy messages. I would also recommend to leverage trends. And we've talked about this before here on Marketing Qualified, a rundown. The Olympics was a good one. So basically use trending for like music or events that is happening to drive attention or to grab attention. You always want to make sure that it falls aligned with your brand identity and values, of course, but there are many ways that you can kind of twist and turn on that. But I think leveraging trends is also a good way to lean into when you're making videos. So in short, if your videos are struggling, focus on storytelling, focus on adding value. And I think authenticity and emotional, think about what emotions you're trying to evoke, and that will then translate to loyalty and engagement. That is it for this episode of Marketing Qualified Rundown. I made it through. And even though Nick is not here, I decided to bring in the meme of the week. This is his favorite part. So this is kind of how we feel like when we're being asked to just do one more edit. That's like back in the days when I was building websites and I would get clients asking for that one more edit that was never ending. Ugh, that was a tough one. But yeah, so we kind of feel like we're on fire. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. All righty. That is it for this week. If you are not yet subscribed, head over to marketingqualified.co. We also just launched today another issue of our new newsletter, Partner Science. So if you're anything involved with partner marketing, partner account management or strategies, head over to partnerscience.tech and subscribe for some really valuable content. That's it for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful weekend.